Truly exciting to have you join us on this edition of the show. Our tech tip is on 4 ways you can back up your photos in the cloud. Our app of the week makes it easy to report any incident to the police. Do look out for our online security and giveaway segments. This is Tech Trend, and I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.
Cybersecurity researchers have found technical evidence that they could link North Korea with the global Wannacry ransomware cyber attack that has infected more than 300,000 computers in 150 countries. Symantec and Kaspersky Labs say that some code in an earlier version of the Wannacry software had also appeared in programs used by the Lazarus Group, which researchers from many companies have identified as a North Korea-run hacking operation.
We've seen it all over the world. The top countries that are affected are places like, China, for example, Brazil, the US, Russia. These places that have been affected primarily has to do with where there's big computing infrastructure. Wannacry does not discriminate in who and where it will infect. So the biggest infections we're seeing are in countries that have computers that are connected to the internet. And then the second biggest factor would be those computers that basically aren't patched. We see in places, for example, in China, a lot of people are using older operating systems that may not have patches available, and so they may be more harder hit.
Both firms said it was too early to tell whether North Korea was involved in the attacks, based on the evidence that was published on Twitter by Google security researcher Neil Mehta.
So it's a bit unclear what their ultimate motivation here is, but it does seem pretty clear that this is not the kind of thing a very professional cyber criminal would do. Guys who are involved in these types of schemes like to run just under the radar. You want to infect as many machines as possible, but still be under the radar. As soon as you add something like an exploit that allows it to spread indiscriminately, like we saw with Wannacry, then, it becomes extremely high profile. And the last thing you want to be when you're a cyber criminal is high profile.
The attacks, which slowed on Monday, are among the fastest-spreading extortion campaigns on record. The research will be closely followed by law enforcement agencies around the world, including Washington, where President Donald Trump's Homeland Security advisor said both foreign nations and cybercriminals were possible culprits. The two security firms said they needed to study the code more and asked for others to help with the analysis. Hackers do reuse code from other operations, so even copied lines fall well short of proof. US and European security officials told Reuters on condition of anonymity that it was too early to say who might be behind the attacks, but they did not rule out North Korea as a suspect. In spite of the cyber attack, India says its computer systems have largely escaped the massive global ransomware attack, and to curb the attack, state organizations managing government websites and building supercomputers have installed security patches issued by Microsoft. The cyber attack that shut down car factories, hospitals, shops and schools has been less severe than anticipated in Asia, but industry professionals have flagged up potential risk in the future. On Friday, May the 12th, cyber extortionists tricked victims into opening malicious malware attachments to spam emails. The ransomware crypts data on computers, demanding payments of $300 to $600 to restore access. More than 1,500 experts were in hand for the opening of the 4th China Robot Summit and Intellectual Economic Talent Summit to discuss intelligent manufacturing and industrial transformation and upgrading. The event, themed on intelligence and the future, will highlight a number of world-leading self-study robots for industrial and family use. Experts say manufacturing transformation driven by intelligent manufacturing has become inevitable among labor cost increases and the need to improve efficiency. According to statistics from the International Federation of Robotics, total sales of industrial robots worldwide reached 290,000 units in 2016, with sales in the Chinese market rising 31% year-on-year to 90,000 units. China became the world's largest robot maker in 2013, with the market expanding by over 30% annually from 2014 to 2016. Major breakthroughs have been made in robot control, offline programming, perception, and the overall design. The summit's host city has in place a robot production system combining key parts production, flexible production line, and a cloud factory. The industrial output in 2016 reached around 6 billion yuan. Meanwhile, a robot think tank was established at the summit to help speed up application of robotic technology and products and promote industrial development. A drone exhibition showcases how the unmanned aircraft has evolved and continues to evolve over time in an event called Drones Is the Sky the Limit at the Interbit Sea, Air and Space Museum in New York.
I want them to walk away kind of giddy and really realize that drones are serving purposes around the world, both in the military, in the civilian world, in the science world, in the arts. And pretty soon they're going to be being used like taxi cabs. And you're not going to have a driver. You're going to have this little flying drone show up and take you to your destination someday. So yeah, be giddy about it because drones are here to stay.
The event explores the history of drones to featuring current-day drone applications and concept drones in the future. Also on display to the public for the first time was Volantis, the pop diva Lady Gaga's flying dress from 2013. Gaga was strapped into the contraption that rose a few feet off the ground and propelled her forward.
Other highlights in the military section, we talk about there's some controversy there. Drones are in the fight against terrorism. Is it a clean thing? Is it a perfect thing? There's discussions to be had there on what's going on and how they're fighting the war on terror. But to get into the civilian world, and I love the artistic endeavors of people, brilliant things like Lady Gaga's flying dress, or Cirque du Soleil uses them in a Broadway play. Every night in New York City in a Broadway play, they're flying drones. Nobody ever made a drone or a vehicle that the occupant would fly in that doesn't have the option of taking control. And Lady Gaga thought about that.
The event runs from May the 10th through to December the 3rd.